P.Sheshadri. Our next guest conveys his innermost thoughts and feelings through films. He is considered one of the most important contemporary voices in Indian cinema. He has won 3 national awards. Please give a round of applause to Dr. Bijukumar Damodaran. Our next guest uses his unique approach to acting in Marathi films, and his charm has won many hearts. He has won the National Award for his work. Please put your hands together for Mr. Addinath M. Kothare. The session will be carried forward by a well-known editor and trade analyst in Bollywood, Mr. Komal Nahta. Now, I would like to request Mr. Ankul Lahoti, Assistant Director in Directorate of Film Festivals, to give mementos to our guests. Thank you, sir. Now I hand over the stage to our moderator, Mr. Komal Nahta.
Good afternoon, friends. I am in esteemed company today. The other filmmakers, Mr. P.Sheshadri, Mr. Damodaran and Addinath, they have made films which have more than entertainment to offer. They have used nature in their films like any other character. So whether it's Amitabh Bachchan or Rajinikanth, but nature plays a very important role in their stories. And that is why their films are very different. Without much ado, I'll start the session. Mr. P.Sheshadri, I would like to know from you, is there a difference between making normal films and making films with nature as an important character, or films about nature? I know you have not made directly nature-oriented films, but you have made environmental issue films. So is there a difference between these two kinds of cinema?
First, I would like to take anticipatory bail. I have not made films on nature directly. As you said, I have made 12 films. Out of 12 films, 2 of my films have won Best Environmental and Conservation Award. I think that's why I'm here. Both the films, one was done in 2005, the story of a group of children, where they construct their own playground. It's indirectly to the nature. So yes. which won Best National Award. And also 2010 I did one novel-based film that is called Man in the Hills. Couple lives in the hills. Okay. They grow crop and other things, and they love nature. Okay. They fight against the nature. Okay.
So, but Man in the Hills.
Man in the Hills.
I thought Man in the Hills, and I was reminded of Key and Car.
Actually, the film was inspired Postman in the Mountain. No? Okay. When I saw the film, I loved that film very much, and I did the film. Yes. Directly or indirectly, all my films are related to nature. Nature plays a major role.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So is that very difficult or different from making films where nature is not a character?
No, it's a character.
No, so is that different from making films where nature doesn't play an important role?
Exactly.
Okay.
Most of the films, it acts like a catalyst. Okay. Catalyst in the film. Okay. So directly we speak about the nature. So we have so many social issues around, nature and our planet is under threat, So we take those issues and deal in the feature film, because feature film means it reach more audience. It has got a good reach, so that
nothing reaches the audience as much as cinema.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a wider audience, and also some awareness. We want to bring some awareness among the audience through feature films. Making documentary is entirely different. Making feature film is entirely different.
Mr. Murugan, is that also the reason why you tackle environmental issues in your films? Yes.
I think I'm also in the same boat of Mr.
P.Sheshadri. So he also applies for anticipatory bail.
So yeah, because I've done 10 films, and out of 2 films won the best film for the environmental films.
Oh wow.
So in 2013, my film, it is about the, it's a cleaner, on a municipal cleaner. So it discusses the waste management system. And it is not directly, but indirectly the character lives in the street. He is sweeping the things, and and the second one, it is in 2014. So another movie won national award is for the environment is Birds with Large Wings. But that movie is discussing the on a true incidents in Kerala state.
Okay.
In a district, there is a lot of kids are going to diseased due to a pesticide.
Okay.
It is on a pesticide tragedy.
Okay.
So
So it is about environment.
yeah, it's exactly about the environmental. So it narrates the environment, the United Nations conference, and how at that time how India stand against the pesticide, and how India favor the pesticide. So it's both a political film and an environmental film. So these 2 films are dealing these environment. But I think for most of my movies, I choose the landscapes. The nature is directly or indirectly on the movie. So I choose the locations. I shot almost all the entire
Film on
India.
location.
Yeah, different films like Ladakh or Himalayas. So when I choose the subject, I think that we can't make a film on environment. If we are planning, we can make a movie on the deforestation, or we can make a movie on global warming. It is not a kind that we can make a movie on a subject, and it is not on this issue based. So it is almost become the part of the movie. The environment is become the part of the movie. We are not making a film on environment, but it is if we are dealing with the human beings, if we are empathic to the human beings, we are picturizing the life of human beings, then the human life is not different from the nature. So that is I think it's a things like.
And Addinath, or Adi for me, is the only person who will not seek anticipatory bail, because he has in fact made a film on nature. It's a beautiful film. I just saw the trailer and I had goosebumps and I had tears in my eyes while watching the trailer. It's called Pani. Pani, as you know, but in Marathi it is Pani, and he's won the national award for that film, best film on environment. So I think all 3 are national award winners. I'm waiting for mine. Someday I shall get it. So what prompted you to make a film on the problem of scarcity of water? Was it to convey a message, convey awareness, or it was purely commercial? Okay, this has potential to become a hit film.
No, firstly, I'm really honored to be in such esteemed company. I'm like a baby in a toy store right now, because it's my first film and it won the national, and I'm here with such experience and senior. So yeah, coming to the question, Komal sir, it was my first film as a director. I wanted to direct a film, and I wanted to tell a story which is really close to my heart, something that I really want to tell from the bottom of my heart, something that really is driving me, something that is really triggering me. Yeah. Something that is really triggering me, something that is really driving me. And for me, at that moment, even today, that subject, that issue was water, is water. Because I think we people who live in the metros, in the cities, are very detached some way from the ground reality of situations. So the water crisis that is happening in the country, across the world, especially in the interiors, people are dying because of water as we speak right now. There is pollution of water, there is scarcity of water, there is water mafia, as they say, the next world war is going to be a water. It's already started. I think nations have already started. The wars are happening. There have been cross-border, whatever is happening is because of water. So I wanted to, and coming from metros, we are a little, like if you go and meet a random person, you won't even know where the water is coming from. Like I'm come from Mumbai, so the water, if you ask someone probably of my age, where you know where the water comes from in your house, I'm sure 80% people won't know.
99% won't.
I mean, Tansa Lake, Vaitarna Lake, where they are, people won't know that. And it's quite sad, because we have become quite detached. There's a history to it, there's a reason behind it. But yes, so I felt I should do something on this. So I started doing research on the subject of water, and I stumbled upon a story of a common man living in a small village called Nagdarwadi in the Nanded district of Maharashtra. Nanded district comes in the Marathwada region, and we know Marathwada is a very drought-prone area of Maharashtra. And in that village especially, people had to walk 4 to 5 kilometers every day to fetch water. And because no water, hence no agriculture, no employment, nothing. And people had to move around in search of labor work across the state in the summer season. So it was very sad. And this is the state in most of the cities, even today, most of the villages, even today in that part. And this one man, okay, because of this situation, nobody would give their daughter in marriage in that village. This was also, most of the men were unmarried. And there was this one man called Hanuman Kendre. He got engaged to a girl who was little from Nanded side. And engagement हो गया और उनको पता चल गया कि अरे this guy is from Nagdarwadi and there is a major water crisis and problem there. They called up the wedding. And he was shattered. Getting married is a big thing, and he found a really nice girl and he was really shattered. He went to the girl and he requested her, I want to marry you, not no one else. But I'll marry you when there is water in my village. Will you wait for me? And what happens is the film.
Wow.
And today that village has water round the year, and it supplies water to its neighboring 5 villages. And Hanuman Kendre also has a mineral water plant in that village.
Rightly, it's a love to move mountains.
Can.
Yes. You know, shooting with wildlife and with nature can be very unpredictable. You never know when it starts raining, when something happens. So untoward things, unforeseen things, which are not planned for. How do you surmount those difficulties, and how do you ensure that what you have set out to shoot, you have accomplished? Your thoughts?
It is actually very difficult because for most of my movies, we are selecting a very remote places for the shooting. So it is very difficult to carry the equipments, very difficult to travel. Actually, in one of my film called Painting Life, the subject is like that. A film crew is going to Himalayan village and they are stranded in there due to the landslide. And after the landslide is happening, the film crew, they have lost their telephone connection, lost the internet, lost the electricity, and they are forced to leave the hero and heroine, including, they are forced to leave the mountain village. And then it is, they are not, actually the film people know, they are not used to this. So they are always with the phone and everything. So then they are trying to walk to the, see the around city or around the village, and then realize that how people living in such remote places without electricity, without
That is the time they realize.
Yeah, so one of the movies actually made like that. For the shooting, it is always difficult because traveling inside a forest, shooting inside the forest, because we have the independent film makers, so it is not such a big budget we are. So there is no life supporting systems or something is there. There is no big crew is there. So we are just going inside the forest to shoot the movie. So we, the cameraman, the all other crew are, and including the cast, they are going by their own belief to shoot the movie, and also in these type of the villages we are going. So it is because of, I think it is happened only for the independent films, because the filmmakers and the crew have a faith in their film. So they have a faith in their subject.
So it's a faith and passion that keep you all going.
It's a faith, passion, and also a social commitment. They have a social commitment. They are not considering this movie as an entertainment. They are considering, they make the films as a political tool. So that is why.
Lovely. Addinath, you are an actor. He's a very accomplished actor in Marathi cinema. Now, there's one thing called pampering of an actor. And you made a film in the most trying circumstances. Did the actor in you take a back seat?
No, it was a big challenge. It just reminded me of what the challenges are. And so the Pani, as I said, is a true story. So we wanted to capture as much reality as we could, and the parchiness and the dryness of that area. So we had to shoot in the month of May, the hottest month. We were shooting in 45 degrees, and we were shooting in a part around that. So Nagdarwadi is now flourished because of the water and everything. So we had to look for a village that looked just like that probably 15 years ago. And we found a Tanda, we found a hamlet, and we found some area around it, completely dry. And we had to shoot here, but there was nothing, there was no arrangement to stay, nothing. There was just one college nearby with a boys' hostel. So, and luckily you were shooting in May, so there was the vacations going on.
Oh,
so we stayed, the entire unit, we stayed in the first, okay, in that hostel there was nothing in the first place. There was not even toilets. So we built toilets in that hotel. And it was 45 degrees we were shooting, so, and all actors and the unit crew, everyone was going to stay. So we put coolers in every room. And we ice up karke, then we started shooting. And even there were days where there used to be no water in the hotel, like in the hostel. And so there are days where we have had bath from the cooler ka pani, and we've gone on shoot. And the entire unit, nobody complained, because you're probably because as the captain of the ship, you're there doing that with the team.
And they better not complain. After all, you're making pani.
But I think that passion is what drives you, and when you're working towards a goal that is clear and that is definite and that is good, I think everyone wants to work for it, no matter what the circumstances are.
Phenomenal.
I just want to add,
Yes.
Mr. Damodaran, when we were shooting for the Man of the Hills, we took extra care, like you. When we are shooting in the forest and the hill station, no, we need to take extra care. Even a director and an actor used to carry lights and tracks on their shoulders.
So they used to all double up as production guys.
Yeah. So like our films are low budget films. We cannot have more crew and other things. We took extra care while shooting that film. Unfortunately, we never thought of leeches. We went 2 kilometers deep into the forest. When we came back, all our legs and other things. So even leeches traveled till our head, Oh, it was very difficult. In a later when I used to say, while shooting film, we usually sweat. We throw. Because more than sweat, we lost blood.
So your film was, you got the National Award
for shedding blood. Yeah.
In replying to the first question, you said you can make a documentary, and but this is a feature film. How do you decide whether you need to make a documentary on this subject of environmental issue or about nature, and how do you zero in upon, this is a subject for a film? The aim is, of course, to reach to the maximum number of people in the public. So what is that?
Actually, I did one documentary on this subject. Before, actually subject demands what kind of genre you have to adopt for the particular subject. Kaiga, I think. There is a one Kaiga, close to Karwar, Goa border. There is a Kaiga chemical plant. There is a one village where there is no road. They used to, in a boat, they have to reach their village in a boat. There are 50 families. So what is the plight of that people?
Oh.
We are saving, one side we are talking that we need nature, we want to save nature. At the same time, human life is also very important. That subject, we have to make a documentary kind of thing. We cannot, we can write a story. That will be a, imaginary story. But whereas if we made that plight in a documentary style, it reaches more and more effect will be there.
Because it is more impactful.
Exactly.
And is it always so that you may have an issue close to your heart, an issue about nature or environment? Do you get backers? Financial backing is a problem?
Unfortunately not. We have finance. No, we don't. Even I could not sell that film.
So then
it is in the YouTube. It is on the YouTube.
Oh.
Not even a single pie we could recover. So it is our passion. We want to say something. As a filmmakers, it is our social responsibility to make a film.
But how many filmmakers think like you?
No, in television serials we earn money.
Okay.
We spend money on documentaries and feature films.
But that also is very heartening to know that in spite of knowing that you may not get the money, you still pursue your dream and passion and see to it that you make a film.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter if it doesn't sell.
No, it is my responsibility.
Wow.
I have to tell the story.
I think we should not be...
If I am not, who will tell the story?
This one deserves a round of applause. Very nice. Dr. Biju?
Me too. I have luckily there is a good producers to me, but the same problem is that.
Does it mean in Malayalam cinema the awareness is more, in Kannada cinema it is less? Does it mean that?
No. That is not like that. In Malayalam cinema also we are producing around 200 films, but these type of meaningful films are only producing 2 or 3.
Oh.
So all other are big entertainment films. The thing is that we get the producers, but how this film get back the money. It is a very important thing. And I think because we are in the IFFI platform, it is I think this is the right platform to tell one more thing. Earlier, if one movie is selected into the Indian Panorama or getting a national award, it will be taken by the Doordarshan. So it will telecast in a best of Indian cinema section. But it's unfortunately it is stopped. So they will give 25 lakhs. It's a good amount for an independent film, sir. So now, unfortunately, for the last 7 or 8 years, it was closed. And they said that it is not profitable. The best of Indian cinema slot in Doordarshan is not profitable. So that's why they stopped the film. It's ridiculous. So now if my movie is getting into Indian Panorama, I will get to me, my producer and my actor, get 3 tickets, get 3 days hospitality, and then go back. Then my question is, what is the use of Indian Panorama? Exactly. What is the use of actually the national award? That's a big question.
Yes. I think this needs to be consideration addressed. Yes. You know, Adi's father is a prolific Marathi filmmaker. He has made all commercial hits, super hits and blockbusters. Did commercial constraints guide you during the making of Pani?
No, it was that, I mean, so I have a different notion. I mean, rather even my dad also agrees the same thing. I think there is no such thing as commercial cinema. I think there is good cinema, and if that is promoted well, projected well, it becomes commercial. And that is my driving force with subjects like these, I believe. This is my first attempt, so I'm going to experience it now, because the film is yet to release now. So the film is ready now. We are planning to get the release thing, the backing and all that. So probably a year from now, I will be able to answer this question better. But
and I hope you say we never thought of the commercial side, but it became such a commercial hit.
Inshallah.
Very nice. This kind of cinema, as you said, except for 3 tickets and hospitality, what are the other platforms available to this kind of cinema? Like you said, we put it up on YouTube. Are there set platforms, or you've got to just rely on YouTube and things like that?
No, there are no such. I mean, even recent days we have Netflix and Amazon Prime also. Mm-hmm. They have to come forward to put their film on their OTT platforms. Doordarshan is stopped, like Biju told.
Yes.
They are not buying our film. How will we get back the amount? That's the major question. They have to come forward.
Yeah.
Everyone has to talk about social responsibility.
Probably it's okay if you don't make money, but at least you need to get your cost back.
At least. We don't need profit.
Yes.
Profit
you need to get your investment back.
Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, how can you make the next movie?
Yes.
That is our profession.
Yes.
Filmmaking is our profession.
Yes.
And it is actually very interesting that when we are making a movie, when it get an award, then the people said, oh, this is an award movie, so we don't want to see this movie. When we are approaching a television channel, then the channel said, oh, yours is a good movie, so we don't want it. It's a good movie, so we don't want it. So
it's a paradox.
Yeah,
an award-winning film is not for viewing.
Yeah,
that is the general belief.
Yeah, and then we are talking about what is the social responsibility, what a movie is like, the environmental and other things. But our question is that this is because a lot of filmmakers are not coming forward to making this type of movies. So they're all going to just entertain the people. So this is actually a bad situation we are facing.
No, we need more encouragement through government.
I think that is the need of the hour.
Exactly.
Because otherwise this kind of cinema will stop.
Yeah,
The people like conscientious filmmakers like you all will stop making films for the simple reason that if you all are going to put money from your pocket, not get the money, not get proper release, not have a proper platform, be sent home in 3 tickets and hospitality, then there is no impetus to make such kind of cinema. You know, you all have made this kind of cinema. If in brief you can, starting with you, the most challenging and exciting part of shooting Pani, some incident.
There was, I think, the most challenging part was the biggest challenge was me. I was acting and directing at the same time.
Okay.
And there is something, physical fatigue is something that you can battle it out by taking some electrol or something. You can do it with medication. But a mental fatigue is something that is so difficult to battle, is what I realized. Because there are two instances. For example, there is a scene, there's a moment in the film where the villagers dig a well. And it's a 30 feet well. So I was to be at the bottom, and the camera, the Jimmy arm used to be on top. And after every shot, I used to come running up, I used to check the shot, I used to go down.
Oh.
And we did this 4 or 5 times, and I didn't feel anything. People were also like, oh, you're not getting tired. I'm probably that passion and that driving force.
Yes.
But then there was a day where it was a climax scene, a pre-climax scene, where the character has an emotional breakdown. And I had kept 2 scenes that day. And after that breakdown scene we were doing on the first half, and the second half we were doing one lighter scene. But after the second half, I had no energy to shoot the other scene because it was impossible.
You were drained completely.
I was drained, but somehow we managed to, because of Marathi film budget constraints, we have to Kannada tandems.
I think Marathi, Kannada and Malayalam, all 3 are budget.
I think Marathi is better than Kannada and Malayalam.
Oh, you all are more budget
Definitely,
constrained.
yeah.
Because they are giving subsidy also, I think.
They're getting
Maharashtra
good
government
subsidy
is-
from their state.
Yeah.
Maharashtra.
Kannada cinema and Malayalam cinema, there's no subsidy.
No, we have subsidy. We get 10 lakh subsidy for each film. We have
Okay,
subsidy.
okay.
But we
For
have nothing.
125 films, every year we make around 300 films in Kannada.
Okay.
125 films get 10 lakh subsidy.
And on what basis are those films selected?
I mean,
There are parameters.
Quality.
Okay, quality.
There will be a committee. Committee will select the films.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Dr.
No,
Biju?
nothing.
No, and your
Yeah,
experience, the
yeah.
most exciting or challenging?
The challenging experience is always for each movie to find the location, the Raki. So to find.
As
the
you said, you
location-
like to shoot on real
Yeah,
locations.
because in the last movie we have to shoot the entire season in one place. So we need to cover the winter, the summer, all the season. So we took 1.5 years for the entire shooting. So we need to get our setting for 1.5 years. So finding a right place which get the winter, summer, everything in one place. So the Raki is the most important challenging. I think that's the most one.
And when I'm shooting my Man of the Hills, it's a story of an old man. He used to take every day, his regular habit is to take a bath in the river, not in the house. Morning he gets up and go to the river, take a bath. We want to shoot that. Wherever we keep camera, we used to see mobile towers. It was very difficult to avoid the buildings and towers. This was written in 1934.
Oh, when there were no
Pre-independence.
mobile towers.
Our
Okay.
period was also pre-independence. So we need to avoid all these things. No electrical
True.
cables, no mobile towers. More than trees, mobile towers are there in our country. So finally, we went deep into the forest. We found one stream. So the small water was there. He said that I can go. He was sent by Dattatreya. He said that I will go. So we cannot tie the rope also. It was seen.
Correct.
So finally, it was slippery. He went there. He was an ex-military man. Say that, oh, I am brave, so I can take risk. Don't worry, you take a shot. He has to take 3 dips. Usually 3 is the number, So first dip he take. Second also he took. Third, he left. Somehow he was holding something inside the water. He left that. He got up. So he was a flood took him.
Oh.
Up to almost 50 meters he was going. We were standing on the by the side of river. We could not able to go there. It was so fast. Fortunately, somehow something stuck, got to his hand, and he was saved. Oh, that was a very horrible experience.
Scary experience.
Scary experience. Somehow we could able to, even we have kept the shot in the film. Yeah, for the remembrance. That was our experience.
In making films on nature, what is the rule? You should show the negative side also, or you should just show nature in all its beauty. What is it?
Only films we see the positive and negative, whereas in television serials now, because of TRP kind of things, television serials, especially I'm talking about Kannada television serials, each and every news channel, they put a program. In 10 years, a whole planet will vanish, something will happen, they will get some stock shots, This creates, instead of awareness, some kind of, response among the audience. That is very bad. So our channel should not show these kind of programs. In films, both we should show at a problem and also at the same time what is the remedy.
Correct.
So what is our responsibility? How to save the planet? How to save the nature? Both we have to show. Plus and minus we have to show.
So, but it's not right to only scare the people.
Exactly. For the TRP kind of things. They want to gain TRP. Because of TRP, nowadays, most of the programs, it is not cool. Usually, early 80s, early 80s, news reading means it was too cool, it was not emotional, it is plain, But nowadays, it is tempting one. Each and every word, each and every shot, what they use, it has to tempt. So this is the way of going on television series, which is very bad. Even nature kind of documentaries also, they are doing the same style.
Adi, you'd like to add something?
I think we need to show the. So basically, I think it's the power of storytelling. I think it's the power of storytelling. It is with great power comes great responsibility. So with this power, there is so much you can do, directly, indirectly, and it's up to how you tell the story. I think. So, like for example, in my house, like when I was a kid, my grandmom used to tell me stories while putting me to sleep, and for me, she was the best storyteller. And so, when something had to be told to me to do something, when she would tell me through her stories or something, it used to touch me and it used to move me, and I used to follow that. I think as a filmmaker, we have the same responsibility, and whoever can tell the best story the best way, whichever way. There's no, as I said again, I don't believe in commercial film. This is a commercial. It's a good film, a good story, a story well told. Like there are films in Marathi which are very realistically shot, like Killa. There is Fandry, which have amazing response from the audience.
True.
So I say they were commercial or they were art films. They were films. They were told.
They were good films.
They were genuinely told. Yeah.
True.
And when you have something to tell, like for example, for waters, let's save water. So if you package it with a good story, and if you try to be as honest as you can to that story, and at the same time hold the audience for that 2 hours and entertain them,
it will make an impact.
It's a big responsibility that you're doing as a filmmaker.
Aditya, Addinath, you are an actor. You're an A-list actor, and you made your film. You acted in it. Is it difficult to get top-line actors for films based on environmental issues and nature?
Not only environmental issues, for all social issue kind of things, it is very difficult to convince stars.
What is it that
they have to come forward?
But
like
what is it?
Akshay Kumar, I appreciate Akshay Kumar. He needs a big round of applause because what kind of subjects? He is the only, and also in Malayalam, Mumatti and Mohanlal sir, those two people are also supporting to some extent, right?
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Little bit.
Okay, Akshay Kumar is number one.
He doesn't agree. He's very reluctantly saying little bit.
Yeah, whereas in Karnataka, I have tried with stars because they have got some following, If you make such kind of, if they come forward to act in such kind of films,
it will make a greater impact.
Impact on public,
So
social.
what keeps them away? Why are they shy?
Pseudo image. Where is the image? They carry with the baggage, They have to come out of that.
Yes, you very reluctantly said to some extent.
Yeah, because the stars, obviously the big stars, they are more influential to the people actually.
Definitely.
Because the more people seeing their movie. So I'm not telling they become the more political correctness or more gender equality, but unless some of them are doing very wrong messages. They are doing very anti-social films. The message is very wrong, anti-social, very the very wrong politics, and even more, it's very anti-woman. So they must keep on that films. They must keep away from that films. That's their responsibility. Because in Malayalam, this superstar also they are acting in movies like the double meaning about the woman. And there is very plain anti-woman films, but not a single one. They are doing continuously this type of movies. So actually, it is a very bad thing. I think they have a social responsibility because they are big actors. They are the industry's very big stars. So they need to keep away from such movies. Doing continuously 1 or 2 movies, it's okay. Some accidentally
They can't keep on doing them film after film.
Yes, yes. Film after film, they are making more worst films. More worst films. Because it's a plain, there is very plain anti-woman dialogues is there. So they know that this is anti-woman dialogue. And this is anti-Dalit dialogues. And this is, it's not a good politics. But still they are making movies back to back. So that's actually, it is a wrong thing.
Their argument is that such cinema is clicking with the masses. So
It entering into the 100 crore club.
Yes, exactly.
So they said when we are giving more this type of dose, if we are increasing, then it will get into the 200 crore. So that is their concern.
Adi, you'd like to add something?
No, I completely agree with them. I completely agree with them. We have a responsibility as a filmmaker. Every person has a responsibility. Even in your, I've got a daughter who's 2-year-old. So to tell her not to do something, I first have to do that. I have to start. When I implement that in my behavior, only then will she implement in hers. Follow by example.
Yes.
So, and the power of storytelling, it is so powerful. It can move mountains. A story can actually drive people to do miraculous things. And I think we have that responsibility. And yes, we have to do that, because there are certain films, I don't want to name them, which they were big hits, but because of the irresponsible storytelling, there have been crimes also happening after that. The number of crimes also increased. There was like honor killing and all. There are many films of that sort which have happened.
You know, my final request to all three of you, for those filmmakers out there who want to emulate your examples, and make films which are meaningful, which are full of messages, and which have something to do with nature. One suggestion, one piece of advice to such filmmakers.
Giving advice is very easy. To follow is very difficult. I don't have advice.
So I've given you the easier job.
So you have to drive your passion.
You have to drive your passion.
Yeah.
Dr. Biju?
Me too. I think I'm not insisting that every movie has a message or not. But only thing is, you should you have a right conscious to what the life you are living. You have an honesty to make a film. So that's the only thing.
Be honest to your
be
film.
honest and be passionate about the humankind. Then if we are taking all the human beings as our fellow men, then you should thinking about the nature also.
You should think about the nature. Adi?
Yeah, I completely agree with them. I think honesty and passion, these are the two most integral part of storytelling and of any art, for any artist. Honesty and passion. I think we should, if you can preserve them, you will be able to create wonders and magic.
Wow. Friends, I'd like to open this house to questions. You all may be having some questions. All three of them are here. Shoot your questions. Please keep them brief, because we are running short of time. There's another session. So if you can keep your questions brief and to the point.
Sure. I think Addinath, it's very impressive what you have achieved with your first film.
Thank you so much.
As director. So you were basically saying that if we make good films, audience will come. It will be commercially hit. But if we look, I don't know, other to how you agree with that. 2 decades back, there used to be 1 or 2 films in Marathi per decade, or later per year. But Marathi really turned it around. Today, Fandri, Killa, hopefully your film also, I wish that. Good films are getting acceptance. Whereas industries which were a lot more promising earlier, Kannada and Malayalam, having a very tough time, right? So, in light of that, can you, Sheshadri and Biju, if you can talk about what changed? There is a graph towards up in Marathi. There is a graph going down in Kannada and Malayalam. What needs to happen? You mentioned about central government's support. So what other things in our ecosystem is lacking, because of which these 2 languages are suffering today?
I think when I observe, there is a lot of friends in Marathi filmmakers, a lot of friends of mine. So when I spoke with them and I observing that in Marathi, something is happening is that there is not a big star system is there, I think. And there is a theatre basis also there. And then they are always selecting the subjects, and then also there is a very good government machinery support is there. They are supporting by, I think, 40 lakhs or something, the subsidy. And then they are reserving the theatres for these good films.
Compulsory Marathi.
Yeah, compulsory Marathi money. Yeah, but in Malayalam, if we are going to the government, we have also government theatre. If we are approaching government theatre that this movie has won the national award, then please release this. Then they said, no, this is a good movie, so we don't want to show it. The government theatres. Then what about the private theatres? So this is happening, and also in Kerala, everything is revolved around the stars. So only the stars and the industry. I think in Kerala, I am ashamed to say, but it is the truth that making a meaningful film, making an art house film, is like a criminal assault in Kerala nowadays.
So they are governed more by box office collections than
Definitely.
anything else.
It's only box office collection, nothing else.
Oh, nothing else. Mr. Sheshadri?
Whether it is fortunately or unfortunately, I can't say. Kannada language is the second highest language after Hindi in number of films.
Okay.
This year, already 11 months, almost we are the 11th month, 370 films have made.
Wow.
But quality, quantity, quantity is there, quality. So it is very difficult to get the theatre. Next week I am planning to release my film, my 11th film. Still, I am not able to get the theatres. When I approach single screen, they said that first pay the rent for 7 days, then we will provide the theatre. So if you go to multiplexes, there are multiplexes.
For an 8-time national award winner.
Yeah. This is my fortunate.
8-time national award winner is told that first pay rent for 7 days.
Yeah.
Only then will we give the cinema to you.
I'm in the industry from past 30 years. I have completed 3 decades. It is very difficult for me to get single theatre, single screen. If I go to the multiplexes, they will say, so your film should collect at least 40%. Then only it will be screened continuously for a week. Otherwise, they will see Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Monday no screens. So this is the situation. Then I request the government, central government or any government, state government, we need a small theatres, 100 seating capacity or 200 seat capacity. There should be a theatre, meaningful cinema, award-winning cinema, festival kind of cinema should regularly screen there.
Yes.
Actually, Karnataka government 3 years back they started one thing, Janata Mandir kind of thing. So if somebody comes forward to build a theatre in half-acre land, they said that we will give 50 lakh subsidy. So since 3 years, no one has come forward. The only condition is you have to, since it is Karnataka, since we are giving water, everything, you should screen only Kannada films. That is the only condition. No one has come forward.
What a shame.
This is unfortunate.
What a shame.
What to do? How to screen our films? How to reach the audience? We have a message. How to reach the message to the larger audience?
Very sad. Very unfortunate.
Yeah, very unfortunate. So whom to beg? Every time we have to stand before the government, whether it is state or government, please help us. Please help us. How long can we say this?
Very unfortunate.
So I request the audience. Not only filmmakers have got social responsibility, even common man has also got social responsibility. When he come forward to watch these kind of films, only this can survive.
Yes.
Survive. We cannot beg the government all time.
All the times, yes. Especially the government which refuses to hear.
Yeah.
As you rightly mentioned, that there should be a parallel platform available for such type of things. Because what you are expecting is true. But as Sheshadri is a rare stuff, as Bijukumar is a rare stuff, as Adi is a rare stuff, so same thing applies to the audience also. People with such consciousness are a rare stuff in the society. For most of the popular cinema, all cinegoers will go there. But such people are also available, and they got a complaint, same like you, that we don't get an opportunity to see
watch this
film.
cinema. Exactly. There is one chunk of audience.
So, whatever the Karnataka government has done, the only condition of language may be the barrier. So, if that barrier is removed, even a Marathi film can be shown there.
Yes.
Even an Assami film can be shown there.
Yes.
So then something like parallel stage or platform is to be made available, that can be a positive step forward.
Very
What
true.
is your opinion, please?
Who has to build the cat? Somebody. So already we are fighting with 5 languages. I am not against any language. We are Indians. But it is our land. Bangalore or Karnataka is our land. We need a primary position for the Kannada films. We have to compete with Hindi, we have to compete with Tamil, Telugu, no, not Marathi, and not Malayalam. So all the language, English. So where is the place for us? So there are 30 OTT platforms across India now, including Netflix and Amazon. I don't want to mention the name of the platform. I sent my film. I wrote to them, this is my film, this is the trailer. If you want to see the film, I can give you the link. Please buy the film. They said, this content doesn't suit our policy. That was the reply I got. What to do? We don't have platforms, OTT platforms. We don't have theatrical release things. What to do? Where to show? I have to show on the wall.
I want to add one thing. In Kerala, there is another aspect is there. So our movies, it is widely screening because not in theatre. But there is a lot of film societies are there. There is a lot of colleges and cultural clubs. So for my last movie, it was screened more than 1,000 screening all around because the students are interested to watch this type of movies. They are too political actually, so they wanted to watch this movie. They wanted to discuss the movie. So,
but sorry to
it
interrupt
didn't
you.
get any money. It
Do
didn't
such
get any
screenings
money.
give you money?
But it reached, I think, but
At least it reached the people.
but
Part
it
of the-
reached more than a commercial movie.
Yes.
It reached the audience in a parallel way.
Yes.
But still, the problem is that the producer didn't get money, but
Obviously.
the audience reaches. So that's happening in Kerala.
Half the job is done, the other half,
Yeah.
the money part is
In
not
Kerala, the
done.
film societies are very strong. We have more than 200 film societies in Kerala.
Wow.
So in almost every village there is film societies. So it's a good culture. So we
Very
can
good
have a good screening. But the economical part is very.
So I always, continuing, answering your question, I say, whenever I get 100 audience, I go to their place and show my movie.
Lovely.
If somebody says, we are 100 people, please show your film, I will travel there, I will go there, I will show the film.
Super.
But you have to pay money.
Super. Yes, yes,
Nothing comes for free.
yes, yes. Abhishek, you had a question?
Hello. In commercial cinema or even in such type of cinema, of course, the promotion is a very big thing. Like, for example, right now, we're talking about 100 crores and 150 crores for commercial film. But they have a promotion budget of 8, 10 crores, 15 crores, etc. But how do you manage this kind of scene? Because I understand you're creating this kind of a content which is of a different nature, yes. But as he said, there is a typical audience who wants this. But how do you make people aware that this thing exists? And how is it promoted? I mean, I'm just wondering.
Only social media. That is the only platform what we have.
Because the budget
I
for the
have-
film itself is so limited.
I have I have 5,000 friends. The 5,000 is the limit, on
Of
Facebook.
course, yeah.
It's very difficult sometimes for me to get 10% audience. I will get likes for 2,000, 3,000 likes and comments also. They will not come to the theatre. There is one problem, there is a major problem in Bangalore. I'm talking about Bangalore metro city. If somebody wants to see a film, he needs to spend 7 hours of his time to watch a movie.
Yes,
Traffic, because of the
yes.
traffic. If the duration of the movie is 2 hours, prior 1.5 hours from his home to theatre, stand in the queue, buy the ticket, after again reaching your home.
7 hours.
7 hours. That is the thing what's happening. How can we expect common man to come to the theatre and watch? The only hope is platforms, OTT platforms. They have to change their mind and buy the films. So recently, one of the Kannada movie, which was budgeted 30 crores, they purchased the film for 20 crores. Almost 70% of the, recovered, the producer recovered. I suggested them, you are spending 20 crores, I will make you to buy 50 films by the 20 crores. You extend your hand to all kind of films, not only mainstream cinema. They have got the market.
True, true. Last question for the afternoon. No? No more questions? Okay.
So I'll just add one more thing.
Yes, sure.
So you mentioned you put up your film on YouTube. Yeah. So you're dependent on the YouTube revenue, or you put it on the rental model of YouTube?
YouTube revenue is very meager, my dear
I know.
friend.
So you put it on the rental
In 1
model.
month, I have earned $5.
Fair enough. But have you put it on the rental model? Because the reason I'm asking this is a positive thing, because I am myself a digital marketer.
I request, I have a couple of platforms like that. Actually, we charge around $5. So we get only $3.
True, true.
2 service charges will go.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that is there, but that is also meager kind of thing. It cannot meet our budget.
Actually.
Absolutely, but if you have some sort of a mechanism where you plow in certain amount for promotion in social media itself and plow it back, I'm sure it could add up, you know.
So we have, in Canada, we make a film in a 50 lakhs, meaning 50 to 60 lakhs. There we complete, our budget will go. So where shall we get the budget for the promotion?
Absolutely, but that is necessary because
only social
like
media is the hope.
Yeah, again chicken.
So let us hope for the good.
Sure.
Yes, last question.
Yeah, after listening to a lot of concerns and suggestions and questions, I'm not trying to summarize it, but I want your take on this. Everywhere in the world, it is the society who is creating a platform or an environment for socially responsible good cinema to succeed. That is true in Europe, that is true in America, that is true in everywhere else in the world. You know, Marathi has very clearly shown us how a non-existing industry can be created and flourished. I think Fandry collected 8 crore or something. So that ownership and that pride and that promotion which their channels and their newspapers and everybody together is providing, that is why Marathi film is thriving. What this government should be, society, when we say that audience, it is a society, our representatives is the government, they should be giving us. Isn't that true? Why are we basically talking about, you know, our promotion is bad, our budget is bad, our, you know, theaters are, owners are bad. Whose responsibility is it at the end of the day? Can you please comment on that?
Very tough question. He himself is a producer. He knows everything. Since he is asking the same question. And also actor. Whose responsibility? Is it the responsibility of filmmaker? Is this the responsibility of government?
Or the public?
But I think it's a huge responsibility for a government, because the government should set up a model for the responsible civilians, for the responsible people, for the socially concerned audience. So the government is should be more concentrated on this, rather the filmmakers or the viewers. Government should make a good cultural environment. That's an important thing. For making a cultural environment to watch good films, to produce good films, and to spread good films. And not only the films, all the art mediums.
All art and culture.
All the art and culture. So they should make a good cultural environment. That is the prime responsibility of all governments.
Adi, you'd like to add something? Marathi cinema is doing so well. It's in the best of health. So.
I think I completely respect and agree with everything you guys are saying, but somewhere deep down in my heart, I think it is the responsibility of the storyteller. I think if the story has the power to reach, it will reach, and that will change the trend, and that has changed the trend in Marathi. Like we were complaining in the early 2000s about Marathi cinema audiences not coming to the theaters, not going to theaters. Suddenly one film comes and the trend changes. It's the power of storytelling. I think it's not just storytelling, but also it's like, you know, everything has to fall in place. A good story, well promoted, at the right time. It all has to fall in place. It's all, there's no formula for success. It's just, you have to keep hitting that wall until you strike water.
How many movies producing in Marathi in 1 year?
Quite a lot. I think there are around 200, minimum 200.
Nowadays. So all the movies get the theaters?
No, even Marathi has a lot to struggle. Then we cry because Marathi has to. I think Marathi audience is definitely very receptive and very open to different kind of content. But they also are audience who watch not just Marathi but Bollywood and Hollywood films. So we have to compete not just within the Marathi cinema. We have to compete with the Bollywood and Hollywood. So it's a big struggle for everyone, I think. But yes, again, I just have to end on one note. I think language now is, that barrier of language is slowly becoming a little blurred, because I think today the audience has been exposed to global content, and we are watching, I'm watching, my friends who used to not watch films regularly are watching web series and on different languages, in Spanish with Eastern Europe.
That's why I'm agreeing, because all of our films traveling a lot. It's traveling almost all the entire world, a lot of festivals. And interestingly, it is telecasting in some other countries. It is buying some other countries, but unfortunately not our own place. That's the problem.
Thank you, Mr. Sheshadri. Thank you, Dr. Biju, and thank you, Adi.
Thank you so much.
I think one round of applause for this one reason, that despite so many hardships, despite no help from the government, from the societies, from society, as the gentleman there said, from the public, if there are makers who continue to make films with nature as a strong character, environment-based issues, which are not made purely and solely for the purpose of making money, but also to impart knowledge, to send a message across to people, I think that's a fantastic service they are lending to the film industry and to mankind and human beings in general. So thank you so much for being on this panel. Thank you for your inputs, and it was indeed a pleasure moderating the show. Thank you very much.